What do you know, I've returned just in time for the end of the song. How about that? Anyway, that was Fatal Blooms in the Moonlight. Which I only really played that song because I like it. You know, it's a beautiful song. It didn't occur to me that I'm wearing a Kirby shirt. So it kind of fits, doesn't it? I do love me some Kirby, which is funny because I never did finish Forgotten Land. I mean, I finished it, but I didn't finish the extra stuff in it, so, you know. No, it's a great shirt. It's funny, I own 3 different Kirby shirts, and I don't even know how that happened. It's like, oh no, that one looks cool. I've got another one that's like a blue one, and it's just basically like Kirby with his ice power, and he's in the middle of this like parfait bowl, you know, so he's basically part of a sundae. The summer look, I mean, summerish look, yeah. One major thing is that the beard is gone. Because it's gotten... Yeah, exactly, clean shaven. Yeah, this is the first time I've had my beard shaved off entirely in, I want to say 2 years? 3 years? Something like that. I used to do it every year, which is hilarious because a lot of the people that I know, like, they'd see me every year that I did this and be like, God, have I ever seen you without a beard? I'm like, yes, you saw me without a beard last summer. That's what I do every year. And then for a while I didn't, so here we are. But yeah, no, it's been way too warm, so I decided I should shave it off. And of course, as always happens whenever I make the decision to take the old face fuzz off, it cooled right down again. But now, obviously, it's not the case because it's ungodly humid today. At least in my opinion it is, but I never did take to the hot weather very well. So there's that. But, yeah, see, you get it. You understand. It's not good. I don't think it's supposed to be too bad tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to. I mean, some people wouldn't agree with me, but to me, the nice, comfortable temperature is like anywhere between 15 to 20. Like that's the nice, you know. But hey, that's that, I guess. Hello, Rolls. Welcome back to the stream. Hopefully you're having a lovely day. You just missed me trying repeatedly and failing repeatedly to fight a boss in Alwa's Awakening, the game that I kept trying to stream and then couldn't. Oh, you spoke to people visiting here and they've come here to escape the heat. Thanks for the resub there, Rolls. Greatly appreciated. Although I suppose, depending on where you're from, this actually isn't that bad, because I know it gets much hotter in other places. But they don't have the humidity to deal with. That's the thing. I feel like I'd be able to deal with a dry heat a lot better than this, you know, walking through 90% humidity or something that we have. It's like walking through a wet cloth or something. It's not good. I don't like it. Which, you know, you'd think I'd be used to it by now. I've been living here so long, but nah, maybe I just like to complain. A lot of people just like to complain, let's be real. It's been well into the 90s there for the past few weeks, which is like roughly 35-ish Celsius. Yeah, no, I don't like that. You can keep that. It's about 30-ish here today, or at least I think it was, so. Yeah, 32 degrees Celsius, yeah. Yeah, a couple of friends of mine have gone to places that are usually renowned for being absurdly hot, but much drier, like, like a friend of mine has been down to Vegas a few times, and of course, you know, Vegas is in the middle of a goddamn desert. And he told me, it's like, it's not actually that bad as long as you're prepared for it, you know? So it's close on to 40 degrees Celsius sometimes, but as long as you prepare yourself with like sunscreen and stuff, and you dress appropriately, it's not like you're smothered in it because it's a dry heat, you're in the middle of a desert. But, you know. You're looking forward to October when it starts getting into hoodie weather. Yeah, see, that's why my favorite time of the year is always like late August into, I want to say, early to mid-November, just before winter really hits. To me, that's a nice, comfortable temperature. Oh, you end up with cracked feet when you were in Vegas due to dryness and, you know, not actually trying to take care of your feet? That makes sense. Vegas is hot as hell, but not too bad, considering you walk out of one casino and you're inside the next one in about 30 seconds. Well, that's the other thing, too, because specifically with Vegas is like, you're surrounded by air-conditioned buildings all the time. I don't know how often you actually spend outdoors when you're there. I did get a chance to go to Vegas a while ago, but things worked out that I couldn't. Maybe one day I'll make it, I don't know. It's one of those places I wouldn't mind visiting at least once, but overall I don't have a hell of a lot of interest in doing so. Well, except as a fan of Fallout New Vegas, because I'm like, oh look, it's the Hoover Dam. Oh look, it's Good Springs, although Good Springs is outside of Vegas proper, I know, but still. Anyway, because I can't think of anything else to start right now. I mean, that's a lie. I do have a couple of other games that I wouldn't mind doing in terms of, like, little indie stuff like Always Awakening. But I've fallen into the trap of playing Project Zomboid again, so I think I might start up another game in that. Here we go. Let me, although I need to update the thing here if I'm going to do that. Zomboid. And Zomboid. Oop. That's my scene switching noise. Yes. Went to Phoenix and had a black car with black leather seats. That's awful. I mean, just hearing that sounds terrible. You're just peeling yourself out of the car every time. You were supposed to go in 2020, but you can probably guess what can't. Yeah, I'm assuming you had, like, I don't know. You had some kind of event you had to go to, right? Like a wedding? An important birthday? No, we know what canceled that. Something happened in 2020 that people couldn't travel? I don't remember anything like that. No, I think that's because we're collectively trying to block it from our memories, Rules. That's why we don't remember that. I know I am. I mean, I was coming off of being unemployed for the better part of a year, then got a job, then immediately lost that job and had to stay home for a year because I was getting stir crazy like a son of a bitch even before that happened. So it was, the one funny thing I remember is just before I got a new job and, then after a month had to leave that job because everything shut down, is I was sick as a dog, possibly not the sickest, but the second sickest I was ever in my life, just a month before that. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't COVID because I don't think it was actually on the island at that point, but it was right after, I've talked about it on stream before, and if you live here, you'd know, like, early January, I think, or early in 2020, we got hit with, like, an apocalyptic level of snow, and the city shut down for a week. I know I've told this story on stream before, but anyway, what ended up happening is after that, all the snow cleared out, me and my partner were outside, and we were shoveling for basically half the day. And then I came back in, and then I started feeling like crap, and then bam, I was sick for a week. I mean, like, sick. I could not get up off of the couch. And I remember very distinctly that on Disney Plus, they had this documentary about penguins. And it was like one of these little cutesy story-based documentary about penguins, but penguins all the same. So I was like, I'm just going to, like, kind of be zoned out while watching this thing about penguins, because it's me and penguins. And the first thing that really hooked me, or I thought was hilarious, was the fact that the one, I think it's an Adelie penguin is what they're called, the one they were following, they called it Steve. So it's like Steve the penguin. It's like, oh great, here we go. This is going to be hilarious. So anyway, they go through this whole thing where the penguin is like having a bunch of setbacks. It can't find a mate. It almost got killed by a seal or something. And then the narration is like, Steve's been having a rough year. And I'm just staring at the TV, like half delirious. It's like, buddy, you don't need to fucking tell me. I know. I am Steve. I've been having a rough year. I empathize with this penguin, is what I'm saying. Is that Rolls? You got diagnosed with the flu in January 2020. COVID was around, but not really a thing. Still think there was a chance you had it with the traveling. It's almost positive that's what you had, honestly. It's just nobody knew that's what it was yet. You got super sick like the day before they announced lockdown, but it wasn't COVID. Yeah, it could have just been a really bad flu strain, because I do know that there were a number of people, like, around when I got really sick in, like, mid-January, and then leading up into when COVID happened, there was this wave of people getting really sick, so I think it was something just before we got that. Still can't believe a team of SEALs took out Bin Laden. Well, no. I like how this is turning into me just rambling about stuff again. We do know how I love to do that sometimes. But man, don't turn your back on SEALs. I don't know if I've told this story before, but back where I grew up, the SEALs and nature docs look so cuddly, but they are damn good at taking out terrorists. Buddy, they would be if you drop one on top of a fella. Because I can't remember if I've told this story on stream or not, but like back where I grew up, we're right on the ocean, and the amount of wildlife that you see is mind-boggling sometimes. Like, we get bald eagles that show up basically and hang out in my parents' backyard once every year or once every couple of years. They come up here, they have their young, and then they fly back south, I think, or something like that. But I remember one time when I was in high school, I got up one morning, and this was, late winter. Yeah, it was, I think it was late winter. There was still snow on the ground, but it was kind of petering off. So I get up, and my mother is in the kitchen, and she's looking out the window to the backyard. And I'm like, so, hey, Mom, what are you looking at? And she's like, oh, seal. I'm like, what? And I look back there, and like, my parents have this really big backyard that's on this rocky beach, and then it's just the bay leading out to the ocean. So I look out, and sure enough, there is a seal, a harbor seal. Harbor seals are about, I can't accurately, they're bigger than that. About 4 feet long, maybe? They're about 4 feet long, I think. Or at least this one was. And you could, it was just lying in her flower bed in the middle of the backyard. And you could see this clear furrow in the snow where it came up on the beach, looped around, laid smack in the middle of the yard, and that's where it stayed. And I was like, how about that? So anyway, I go to school, and I come back that afternoon, and nobody else is home because everybody else is at work. And I notice the seal is still there. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, geez, that thing's not dead, is it? Because we've had, I think a week or two before that, we actually had a dead seal wash up on the beach. We didn't really have to do anything about that because it wasn't really on the property. So I was like, but if it died smack in the middle of the backyard, then we were going to have to do something about it. So I go back, and I'm like, I'm just sort of edging towards this thing to make sure it's still alive, or like it's not dead and I have to do something about it. So I just very, very tentatively reach out towards the seal to, like, you know, give it a poke to see if it's still alive, which was a bad idea. Don't ever do this. And it immediately jumped back to life and snapped at me. Like, if I was a second slower, it would have latched onto my hand. And those motherfuckers would take my hand off if it had the chance. So it snapped at me and kind of growled at me, or whatever noise they make. I think they do make a growling noise. It's been so long, I don't know. Yeah, it would have taken my hand off. So I was like, oh, hey, it's cool, I'm backing off. I say to the seal as if it understands me, and I just slowly back away, and I go back in the house. Anyway, about an hour or so after that, I actually see it get up, and it very slowly trundles its way down to the ocean, and we don't see it again. So, long story short, seals are jerks, And they're more dangerous than they look. Because no matter how goofy and cuddly they look, it's still a wild animal, you know? So just be careful around them if you ever come across one. Oh, what's that, geese? Yeah, geese are assholes. I mean, there's an entire game about how geese are assholes. Untitled Goose Game. I streamed that a few years ago. Just go back and watch that. You'll see all the information you need about how much of a jerk a goose is. Oh, was that you just remember that one time Paul McCartney and his wife at the time, Heather Mills, going out on the ice pans to see the seals when the seals almost took out Heather's hand when she tried? Yes! That was hilarious. I don't know. Like, again, just people who don't actually have to deal with wildlife thinking that, oh, it's fine, it's just like a pet. No, it's not like a pet. It's a wild animal. You have to be careful around it, and you need to respect it. So, you know, be cool around the seals is what we're trying to say. Although, you know, what's even scarier than a goose, though, is a swan. I remember one time when we were kids, and I mean fairly young, we came into town here for a visit. We went down to Bowering Park. I don't think they have any swans down there now, unfortunately, because they died because we had a bird flu outbreak there late last year, I think it was. But I remember very distinctly one of the swans was actively coming for us, and I think it ate my brother's shoelaces. This might be a warped memory now, like maybe that didn't actually play out the way I thought it did, but I'm pretty sure it ate my brother's shoelaces. Yes, they were grossly misinformed about those seals, yeah. But no, the other terrifying thing about swans, too, is that you don't really understand how big they are until you're next to one. I mean, you know, it's a massive bird. And it's very, very, as we would say around here, saucy. Which means it's angry and pissed off all the time. So anyway, I developed a healthy fear of swans after the time I ate my brother's shoelaces. Yep. Anyway, after talking about illnesses and dangerous wildlife, let's play a game that at the very least has one of those things. Yeah, let's play at least an hour or so of Zomboid because I have a problem, and that problem is I just keep flitting between game to game willy-nilly.